Okay, good morning, everyone. We're going to start the Drainage District Board of Directors meeting to order. We'll start with a roll call to establish quorum.
Good morning, David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Everardo Villarreal, Precinct 3.
Ellie Torres, Precinct 4.
Richard Cortez, County Judge. That constitutes a quorum. Mrs. Singh, would you please lead us in today's prayer?
Certainly will, Judge. Good morning, Judge, Commissioners, everyone. Let us pray. Father God, we continue to ask you to fill our cities, county, state, and national political leaders with wisdom, understanding, discernment, knowledge, forgiveness, faithfulness, humility, and dignity. We pray for our judge and 4 commissioners that you've appointed to lead this great county of ours. We pray for our mayor, school board members, city council, police chiefs, district attorney, sheriff, judges, and all who serve our local communities. Grant them favor, increase their faith, and prepare them to pursue your excellence. Draw them to you and cause them to know and fulfill your purposes. Please place people in their path that will provide scriptural, sound, and godly counsel, for without your counsel, their plans will go awry. Impart your wisdom and revelation to them about leadership and help them to lead. Deal with our leaders by keeping their hearts and motives pure. We ask you to make their hearts pliable, willing, and obedient to your will. Cause each of their lives to glorify your name. Father God, we continue to pray for all that are battling illnesses. We pray for healing, that your will be done in all circumstances. Provide their families with the peace that you can only bring through your Son, Jesus. And we continue to praise you, Father God, for the healing that's come through you. We continue to pray for those souls that have passed. May they be at peace, resting at your side. And we pray for strength over all that have lost someone. May your strength continue to carry them through all, and your grace, love, and mercy be over them. Lord, according to the riches of your glory, grant that we may be strengthened in our inner being with power through your Spirit, and that Christ may dwell in our hearts through faith. Being rooted and grounded in love, we pray that we may have the power to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and length and height and depth, and to know the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge, so that we may be filled with all fullness of you. Scripture reminds us, the more we seek you, the more we will find you. May we seek you in everything we do. May we always work as was working for you. We ask all this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Do we have anyone sign up for open forum?
Yes, we do, but I'm going to check to make sure we have a Lupe Chavez on drainage issues. Mr. Chavez, there is a 3-minute time limit. I will advise when there is 1 minute. And if you give me 1 second, please. Yeah.
You can start, Mr. Chavez.
So, Judge, if I may, for the record, I'd like to remind the public that they're always welcome to participate in public forum. They need to be familiar with the rules of decorum, which prohibits direct and indirect personal attacks on members of the court or any county individuals. The comments made should also pertain to county business and or district business and cannot be threatening in nature. Mr. Chavez, I will advise you when you have 1 minute left, and I will start when you start.
Thank you very much. My name is Lupe Chavez, and much like thoughts and prayers for gun violence, thoughts and prayers for our elected officials to do better really don't seem to be working. I came here to speak about the drainage district initiatives here, this referendum. I've been involved in county politics since 1995, even as a high school kid, on first-name basis with people like the Honorable Kika de la Garza, a lot of prominent, influential people in this community. I've been mentored by business leaders in this community, and been fortunate to work with people like the Owls and other civic people in this community. But we have a very pressing need in our community, which people seem to be ignoring. And we see it in the news. We had violent storms in May and June, which, to some of us may be unusual because we've been in drought and 100-degree heat for, since the 90s. But, I remember a time when, that was normal. So I'm very, very thrilled and honored that all of you are paying attention and looking at me while I talk about flooding, because in your districts, there's people who have to deal with flooding. And we have the disaster people of SBA here. Now, drainage, lighting, infrastructure seems to be left off on a lot of projects, or somehow they don't get completed. In South Far, for example, Precinct 2, I don't see my commissioner here, but We've had a lot of fatalities in the South South McAllen area, but they don't seem to do any road maintenance on McCall, 23rd. I know they are working on that bridge. It seems like they did that because of this fire that was in Philadelphia or somebody like, if one of our bridges is going to fall apart, there's some work there on the one that goes over the flood passway, whatever, on 23rd Military Highway. But I have concerns that this board isn't doing enough to protect us from flooding and from the changes in climate change. Insurance companies aren't providing insurance for flooding and fires anymore. And we understand that this system of insurance can't afford to pay out all these damages. We know that. You know, I'm an economist by trade. I went to the University of Southern California. I studied this stuff. I see our economic development, and we're so far behind. You know, you guys pat yourself on the back for getting projects done by the highway, but that's an economic principle. That's where business is supposed to be generated. You know, that's why the highway system was created. You know, so at any rate, I appreciate that what you all are doing here, but there's a lot more to be done, and it seems like a lot of times we just play politics and we don't worry about the people. And it's a trend in the city of McAllen. You know, they walked out on me last night when I was talking about the employee health plan. And I actually pay for health care benefits for my daughter, and they just got up and walked during public comments. So that's your partners around the county. So we need you to, not forget, but remember COVID did happen, but, there's a vaccine, and that people don't want to come out because they're fearful. They're fearful of police. They're fearful of their elected officials. And thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Is there anyone else? Valde?
No, sir.
Next is the approval of the consent agenda.
Yes, sir, Judge. On the consent agenda, we have approval, check register, and normal items that have been vetted by my team. Everything's in order. We do recommend approval.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, 5A.
Yes, sir. 5A, requesting approval to declare surplus for approximately 500,000 cubic yards of filled dirt for Mission Inlet Drainage Improvement Project, Section C and F of BOA Estates area drainage improvements, and that so much attempt was made for the sale and removal through RFP number ACDD 12302900607 ESZ as advertised for the 2 consecutive weeks, and no bids were received.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 6A1, approve application payment number 13 in the amount of $79,608.97 with interest on retained in the amount of $693.27 from Core Equipment LLC pertaining to construction contract CACD 12200103038 Alamo Expressway Drain. If I may, I'll read the next one too, Judge. Approval, acceptance, certificate of substantial completion, certificate of construction completion from Core Equipment LLC pertaining to construction contract CACD 12200103038 Alamo Expressway Drain expansion. 6A and B, 6A, 1 and 2, everything's in order, recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 7A1, requesting approval of board construction contract, CACD 123014060, -13 to the lowest expensive and responsible bidder, RMB Contractors LLC, in the amount of $1,490,579.73 for the Mile 10 North Baseline Road, Phase 2 USIB WC Structure 139-2018 Bond Project 20, as recommended by Project Engineer Kentucky Henry Associates, Inc., subject to final review of compliance, House Bill 1295.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
So, Commissioner, this is the, we already initiated Phase 1, it's under construction, this is the Phase 2 of that Indian Hills project, basically, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Item 2, pursuant to Legislation Local 262031, in the interest of expediting project's progress, requesting authority Drainage District General Manager to execute a change order that involve any increase or decrease in the cost of $50,000 or less, and in no event to exceed the change order statutory limits. The original contract price may not be decreased by 18% or more without the consent of the contract.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, requesting approval of closed documents parcel 21-55 as it relates to Project 21 of the 2018 Drainage Bond Program, Mile 10 North and Mile 1 West Project, and authority of the Chairman of the Board to execute documents.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Yes, sir. Item C1 and 2, requesting approval of closing documents for parcel 10B2 as it relates to Project 10B of the 2018 Drainage Bond Program, East Mercedes Project, authority of Chairman of the Board to execute documents. And 2, approval of payment and issuance of manual check to Jones Gallon Key and Lozano LLP for $302,632.13 upon closing of execution of closing documents. Recommend approval C1 and 2.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Judge, if I may, I'll go through D all the way through.
Please.
5, yes, sir. D1, approve application payment number 5 in the amount of $112,417 for Morwell LLC, Virginia Construction Contract CACD 12202400726 J08 Drain. Item 2, approve application payment number 2 in the amount of $201,238.89 for Morwell LLC, Virginia Construction Contract number CACD 12202200531 Mid-Valley Airport, IBWC Ditch. Item 3, approve application payment number 3 in the amount of $28,751.76 from Morwell LLC, Virginia Construction Contract, CACD 121054120A, mile 9 and 1015. Item 4, approve application payment number 7 in interest in the amount of $43.97 from IOC Company, Virginia Construction Contract, CACD 12202800712 South I Road Detention West Side. And item 5, approval and acceptance certificate of construction completion from IOC Company, Virginia Construction Contract number ACDD 12202800712 South I Road Detention West Side. And item 6, approval application payment number 2 in the amount of $69,408 from Morwell LLC, Virginia Construction Contract CACDD 12203300712 South Lateral Drain.
Motion to approve.
Second. Those are items 1 through 6.
Yes, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
D1
Aye.
through 6.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 8A, under Human Resources, approval of following personnel actions effective June 19, 2023. We're looking to create a surveying tech, 2 surveying tech positions, and to reclassify existing positions into surveying tech 3s and surveying tech 2s, surveying tech 1s. We currently have 3 teams of surveyors, but we have 2 that are flying solo. We want to pair them up with, they're on the elements, ditch work and everything. So we want to pair them up and have 2-man teams to gather the data that we do on a daily basis for all the projects that we do. So we ask the board for consideration for this approval.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Approval of Survey Tech 3 job description. Item 3, approval of a revised classified position list. Item 4, approval of revised salary schedule. Item 5, approval of budget line item transfers.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries.
We do have some matters in closed session, Judge.
Okay, pursuant to Subchapter D of Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, we'll be retiring to closed session to discuss items listed in Code Section 551.072 or 551.074. May I have a motion to do so?
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I have 9:43. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're back from executive session. We do have an action item.
Yes, sir, Judge.
Under item 10A, action is needed to authorize Mr. Sassine to proceed as discussed in the closed meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's it, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Now, I would like to call the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court meeting to order. We'll start with a roll call to establish quorum.
Good morning, David Fuentes, Precinct 1. Eddie Conti, Precinct 2.
Everardo Villarreal, Precinct 3.
Ellie Torres, Precinct 4.
Rich Cortez, County Judge. Today, we're honored to have Miguel Salinas. He served in the U.S. Army. He reached the rank of E4 Specialist. He was deployed to Jordan and Syria as an attachment to the 3rd Infantry Division in support of Operation Spartan Shield and Operation Inherent Resolve. He conducted mail operations and Spanish language classes for the Jordanian Armed Forces. Will you please lead us in today's pledge? We have him on video.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Miguel. Incidentally, he's a student at UTR Javine. And today, we're being led with our prayer for Chief Deputy Constable Joe Espinosa. He's the Precinct 1 Constable's Office. Would you please lead us in today's prayer?
Yes, good morning. Bow our heads. Dear Lord, we come to you this hour, asking for your blessing and help when we gather together this morning. We maintain our faith that you will give us the wisdom as policymakers and the patience as neighbors to help our community prevail. We ask for all wisdom and patience, for the wisdom and patience to convene today's meeting, knowing that a multitude of challenges awaits us. In your great name we pray, Lord. Amen.
Thank you. Next, we have the approval of the consent agenda.
Yes, Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, I'd like to pull from consent agenda items 7A, 1 and 2, and all of 11E1 under consent.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, for the record, Commissioner Fuentes will be abstaining from any discussion and/or action related to consent agenda items 7A, 1 and 2. That being said, we have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Let the record show Commissioner Fuentes abstained from any voting or action on this item.
Thank you.
And Judge, Commissioners, with respect to consent agenda item 11E1 in its entirety, I am asking for no action on one of the three invoices. And so let me do a no action first. The invoice that we'll be doing a no action will be ARPA project number 22-124-064. If we can have a motion of no action.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Judge, Commissioners, the balance of the invoicing, if we could take action on 11E1, ARPA 22-124-050 and ARPA 22-124-049, if we could take action on those two for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, we have item 5A, resolution honoring renaming of county-owned facility. Commissioner, you.
Good morning. Would the Cerda family please join me up to the podium for agenda item 91227. Resolution honoring and renaming a county-owned facility known as the Justice Center located within Hidalgo County Precinct 4 to the Romualdo Cerda Jr. Justice Center. I'm Dr. Jennifer Mendoza Culbertson, representing Commissioner Eli Torres, Precinct 4. I will now read the resolution. Whereas the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court through Precinct 4 approved the construction of a new Justice Center to centralize and replace outdated buildings with inadequate space for the Precinct 4 Hidalgo County Justices of the Peace and the Precinct 4 Constable's Office. And whereas the county wishes to honor a longtime public servant who demonstrated great courage, honor, humility, dedication, and commitment and contributed positively to the rural communities of Precinct 4. This individual served the county precinct well in his respective career as constable for over 20 years. And whereas the new Justice Center sits on the very location where Constable Cerda's office was housed when elected to the office. And whereas Constable Romualdo Cerda Jr. was born in Laguna Seca Ranch on July 7, 1930, and entered eternal rest on January 22, 2001. Constable Cerda is survived by his wife, Odilia D. Cerda, his children, Robert Cerda, Frank Cerda, Arnold Cerda, Chris Castellano, and Jerry Dominguez, and daughter, Maria Luisa Cerda, who entered eternal rest in May of 2015. And whereas Constable Cerda was first elected into public office in 1980, he went on to be re-elected for 6 terms. Constable Cerda's journey was one of remarkable dedication and humble beginnings. He began his duties as constable by working out his personal car and tirelessly serving our community until his efforts garnered the support of the county commissioners, who in turn provided Constable Cerda with an office, a patrol car, and county paid deputies. Throughout his service, Constable Cerda exemplified humility and commanded respect from those within the community. And whereas the County of Hidalgo wishes to rename the Precinct 4 Justice Center in memory of Mr. Romualdo Cerda Jr. for his dedicated law enforcement and community service. Now, therefore, be it resolved and ordered by the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court that 1. The Commissioners Court hereby renames the County of Hidalgo-owned building from Hidalgo County Precinct 4 Justice Center to the Romualdo Cerda Jr. Center to honor his dedicated public service and preserve his memory. 2, the Commissioners Court authorizes the county to execute the appropriate documents approving this name change. 3, any prior resolution and order of the Commissioners Court in conflict with the provisions contained in this resolution and order are hereby replaced and revoked. 4, should any part of this resolution and order be held invalid for any reason, the remainder shall not be affected thereby, and such remaining portions are hereby declared to be severable. 5, this resolution and order shall take effect immediately from and after it is passed and is duly resolved and ordered. Requesting approval from the court.
Motion to approve?
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Once again, we have many representatives of the Cerda family, but we have 2 individuals who would like to share a few words. We have Ms. Jerry Dominguez, daughter of Romualdo Cerda Jr., and Mr. Johnny Garcia, City of Edinburgh City Councilman.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank you all. I want to thank everyone that's here today. This is an awesome, awesome feeling that my family and I are feeling. And it is with great pleasure and profound respect that we accept the proposal of the naming of the new Justice Center in honor of my father, Romualdo Cerda. After over 2 decades of dedicated and devoted service to our community, my father's legacy will be forever remembered and celebrated in the form of this new establishment, an enduring place in our community history. We graciously accept this honor on his behalf and are greatly, so nervous, and are deeply grateful to Commissioner Ellie Torres. Thank you so much, sweetie. For her leadership to bestow this well-deserved recognition upon our father. Everyone's presence here is a testament to his impact on all our lives. We ask you to join us also on the day of the building dedication, as it will not only pay tribute to the remarkable achievements and unwavering dedication of my father, but will also serve as a heartwarming display of support to our family. Let us all come together as a united community to honor his memory. Your participation in this historic event will undoubtedly bring comfort to all his loved ones and reaffirm the significance of his work in all our hearts. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Johnny Garcia. First of all, thank you, County Judge, and all the commissioners for this resolution that's been performed for us this day. My mother actually started working with the Sheriff Department in 1979 as a deputy with the Hidalgo County Sheriff Department. And of course, Constable Romualdo Cerda started in 1980 when he was first elected. And I got to see the 6 terms that he actually served in our county. And to me, it was a great honor during that time when I was a young child to actually go sit at the post sites, to hold his sign up. It's such great memories and to see such great leadership at that time growing up in our city of Edinburgh. And I had the honor actually and privilege to bury him when he passed away in January 22nd of 2001 when he was serving his 6th term, and to see, of course, his son Frank Cerda take over those reins at the constable's office. But I was telling his daughter earlier that I remember like it was yesterday at funeral. We buried him at Valley Memorial Gardens. I remember doing the riderless horse right in front of the casket. And I also remember when they were mentioning about using his own personal vehicle. He used to have those magnetic signs that go on the doors of your cars. And I remember at the day of the funeral, taking it out from the door and putting it on the casket. So I know he's laid in that grave with his magnetic that he was so proud to be serving the county. And so to me, it's just a great honor to see everybody here to honor such a great man of humility, humbleness. You know, I was telling the other daughter that I remember that in those days, he didn't even carry a gun. You know, he had a revolver, those old revolvers in between the car seat. And if he pulled you over, he'd get a little tablet from his pocket. And who are your parents? You know, I'm going to call them and let them know what happened. And you were more scared to get home because you knew, you know, you'd be in trouble. But that was just the kind of leader he was. He liked to share his stories, and he liked to talk to the young people to try to correct them at a young, early age so that they wouldn't fall into the criminal system. And, you know, I always tell people in my career, there's 3 types of death. And the first death happened to him on January 22nd, 2001, when he passed away. The second death was when we actually buried him at Valley Memorial Garden. And the third death is when we stopped talking about him. And as long as we have that namesake on that building, his memory will live forever and his legacy will continue. Thank you for being here.
If we can have a photo with the family members coming up, please.
Good to see you. Thank you. Sorry.
Next, we're going to celebrate the recognition of Juneteenth Day.
Thank you. Agenda item 91220, requesting approval of proclamation in honor and recognition of Juneteenth Day. I will now read the proclamation. Whereas Juneteenth or Juneteenth Independence Day commemorates the traditional observance of the end of slavery in the United States, and it is observed annually on June the 19th. And whereas President Abraham Lincoln declared that in giving freedom to the slave, we assure freedom to the free, honorable alike in what we give and what we preserve, we shall nobly save or meaningly lose the last best of hope of earth. And whereas President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863, declaring the slaves in Confederate territory free, paving the way for the passing of the 13th Amendment, which formally abolished slavery in the United States of America. And whereas President Lincoln correctly believed slavery to be in violation of the principles of the Declaration of Independence, and that its abolition represented a new birth of freedom for the United States. And whereas more than 2 years would pass before the news reached African Americans living in Texas, when on June 19, 1865, Union Major General Gordon Granger and his regiment arrived in Galveston and spread the word that slavery had been abolished. And whereas June 19th has a special meaning to the Black community and is called Juneteenth, combining the words June and 19th, and has been celebrated in the Black community for over 150 years. And whereas Juneteenth is the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of the ending of slavery. And whereas Juneteenth is an official state of Texas and federal holiday and celebrated in Hidalgo County since the early 1900s to honor the legacy of Black Americans past and present. And whereas this year's celebration is entitled Remembering Our Roots and Celebrating Our Resilience. And whereas Juneteenth is an important opportunity to honor the principles of the Declaration of Independence and celebrate the achievements and contributions African Americans have made and continue to make in Hidalgo County, the state of Texas, and across our nation. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court proclaims June 19th, 2023 as June and encourages all Hidalgo County residents to come together in the celebration of the freedom legacy of Black Americans, their important contributions to the betterment of Texas life, and to reaffirm our commitment to achieve an ever-advancing prosperity for all people. Seeking approval from the court.
Motion to approve?
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
With us today, representing Friends of Juneteenth, I give you Mr. Ray Howard.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. And good morning to all of those in this great assembly this morning. Thank you. This is Juneteenth season, folks, and we are joining hands and hearts with our fellow Americans all across this country and beyond as we pause for a time to remember and to reflect on the early entry of this nation's history, when slavery was an institution that carries a dark cloud, I think, on the wonderful history of this country. And we're so proud, of course, that there's something called the Emancipation Proclamation. And that proclamation now has evolved to what we call the Day of Jubilee or the Day of Freedom. Juneteenth is not just an African American or Black holiday. We're so thankful to now have it as a national holiday that we celebrate our third year of celebrating our federal holiday. But it's not just for African Americans. This is an American holiday because freedom is for all. And we are poised to remember that, of course, we need to know our history. We need to reflect on that history. But Juneteenth is also about a new resolve. It's about our ability to think forward and our ability to join together to ensure that the human rights, the civil rights, the social rights, the social justice, employment opportunities, and equity in health care and delivery is available to all. So Juneteenth reminds us that we still have work to do, but it also reminds us that we're not where we were. We have moved forward as communities around this country, and I'm so pleased, Commissioners and Judge, that Hidalgo County is standing strong with its neighbors, and particularly with its African American community and those of African descent in this community to make this important statement that we are partners in this effort to improve our community and to ensure that everyone has equal opportunity to flourish and to prosper in this local neighborhood. Thank you for this morning on behalf of the many whose voices aren't here with me today, but I'm proud to represent so many efforts and so many individuals who are working tirelessly every day. Even though we celebrate Juneteenth on June 19th, which is coming up on the 19th of this year, we celebrate Juneteenth every day, right? Because it is a reminder that the work continues. And we're thankful to conclude our local Juneteenth celebration with a service at the Reslon Cemetery, which I'm sure most of us are aware, is one of two of our Hidalgo County, Texas designated historical markers for the African American historical significance. We're going to have a wonderful sort of sunset service, and everybody's welcome, right? Everybody's welcome. And we're going to end that with a candlelight visual to demonstrate that all of us have a light to shine. And as Martin King so eloquently said, it's only light that dispels darkness. So we are happy to be able to stand tall in 2023 and celebrate not only our history, but celebrate our future together. Thank you so much for this effort.
Okay, La Villa Early College High School, state champs. Commissioner, let us know.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Judge Commissioners.
Just more state champions, Judge, sorry.
Just another set of state champions, just saying, in Hidalgo County Precinct 1. Awesome. My name is Pepe Cabeza de Vaca on behalf of Commissioner David Fuentes, Hidalgo County Precinct 1. Very proudly, I'm going to read the following proclamation. Proclamation celebrating La Villa Early College High School. State champions Casey Salazar, Yaretsi Gomez, and Josue Aguilera. Whereas La Villa Early College High School is the proud home of three exceptional and dedicated students-athletes, Casey Salazar, Yaretsi Gomez, and Josue Aguilera. And whereas uniquely accomplished, all three have displayed hard work by the following their dreams and obtaining goals that resulted in earning the titles of state champions in their respective athletic endeavors. And whereas, without missing a day of training, sophomore Casey Salazar received the state championship title in the 1,600-meter run. And whereas Casey finished in 5 minutes, 5.75 seconds, collecting the first gold medal of her career during Day 2 of the 2023 UIL State Track and Field Championship in Austin, Texas. Testing her strength, she also placed fourth at the regional powerlifting meet and fifth at the state powerlifting meet. And whereas senior powerlifter Yaretsi Gomez was crowned state champion in the 259-plus pounds weight class with a total weight of 1,050 pounds. And whereas Gomez was also named regional champion in the same weight class, lifting a total of 980 pounds. She also participates in volleyball, basketball, track, and softball, where she won by district championships. And whereas junior powerlifter Josue Aguilera earned the state champion title in the 198 pounds weight division with a total weight lifted of 1,475 pounds. And whereas Josue was also named regional champion in the same weight class, and is a double threat as a football player where the Cardinals were also district champions. And whereas, leading up to their victories, each student athlete have shown confidence and unified school pride for their many accolades that go beyond their state titles. And whereas, collectively known as competitive individuals to their coaches and peers, it's their individual strengths and passions that set them apart, clearly showing that through determination, anything can be achieved. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby congratulates Casey Salazar, Yaretsi Gomez, and Josue Aguilera for representing La Villa Early College High School being named state champions, and for showcasing their talents as competitive student athletes. Approved this 13th day of June, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much. I want to say thank you guys for being here, taking time to recognize their hard work. We do have a motto in La Villa that says hard work pays off, and these individuals here come every day to work. Like he said, they do a lot of sports. We don't have a lot of students in La Villa, but these people here, these kids right here come and they work hard every single day, and we as coaches appreciate their hard work, and we commend their hard work, and thank you very much. But thank you guys very much for coming out here and showcasing their hard work. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Okay, next we have. Okay. Let's move on to 9A for the district clerk, so we can get her back to work. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Agenda item 9A, proclamation announcing the 128th County and District Clerks Association of Texas Conference in Hidalgo County. The County and District Clerks Association of Texas is hosting the 128th Annual Conference June 19th through the 23rd in McAllen for the first time in CDCAT history to fulfill its statutory continuing education requirements. And whereas the conference will feature 4 days of professional development workshops, a business trade show, and will attract over 300 attendees from all 254 counties in the state of Texas to Hidalgo County, in addition to the presentation of board members to session. And whereas the County and District Clerks Association of Texas is committed to promoting professional standards to provide a means for the education of its members regarding the statutory and constitutional duties of the offices of the county clerks, district clerks, and county and district clerks to participate in the legislative, judicial, and executive processes of state government beneficial in the performance of the members' duties. Whereas the CDCAT strives to form collaborative relationships with county officials and members of the legislative, judicial, and executive branches of state government, the annual conference will provide not only first-rate educational opportunities for its members to expand their knowledge, learn, and improve, but also opportunities to network with their clerk colleagues and get insights into the latest professional trends and practices in government. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby congratulate the County and District Clerks Association on its exciting 128th Annual Conference in Hidalgo County and wishes a successful and educational experience for all. Approved this 13th day of June, 2023.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you for your service.
Good morning, Commissioners and Judge. We are so proud, Mr. Guajardo and I have been working on this project for 3 years, And we are so proud to bring our colleagues from around the state here to Hidalgo County. Not only will we have all of these educational opportunities, but we will be showcasing all that Hidalgo County has to offer. We're even offering excursions all afternoon on Thursday to visit all of our county precincts because there's so many wonderful things to showcase. We're also very honored, Judge, to have you as part of our welcome on Tuesday, as well as the Sheriff's Department, who will be presenting colors at the beginning of our meeting. Again, thank you for everything, and Mr. Guajardo is here to add a few words as well.
When Laura told me, hey, we're going to submit our names to be the host, I was like, yes, ma'am, whatever you say. So anyway, it is exciting because after 128 years, it's the first time Hidalgo County has ever hosted. So we've made a lot of friends throughout the state, and we're looking forward to hosting them here in Hidalgo County. I think we're going to provide them a good educational background of what she's put together a great thing, educational wise, but I'm going to take care of some of the extracurriculars.
Well,
so thank you guys.
Thank you both for your leadership, and we'll look forward to having them here, and I'm sure all the hotel people and restaurant people appreciate it even more.
We were hoping we'd be able to take them in the new courthouse, but oh well, this close.
You can.
We might be able to, right? Yeah, maybe we'll sneak them in there through the back door and show it off anyway. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you. And Arturo, we all follow what the women tell us to do, believe me, so that's amazing. Next, we'll have a proclamation for the Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder Awareness Month.
Agenda item 5D, proclamation recognizing June as Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder Awareness Month. Whereas PTSD is an anxiety disorder that some people develop after seeing or living through an event that caused or threatens serious harm or death. And according to the National Center for PTSD, there are currently about 12 million people in the United States living with this disorder. And even though PTSD treatments are effective and accessible, most people don't get the help they need. And whereas the disorder may result in sleep problems, irritability, anger, recurrent dreams about the trauma, intense reactions to reminders of the trauma, disturbances in relationship, and isolation, some people may recover a few months after the event, but for others, it may take years. And whereas for everyone with PTSD, whether they are a veteran or a civilian survivor of sexual assault, serious accident, natural disaster, or other traumatic event, needs to know that treatments can lead to a better quality of life. And whereas the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration and the National Institute of Mental Health offer a variety of resources designed to help people who suffer from PTSD, as well as aid their families and friends in better understanding and dealing with trauma's aftermath. Whereas if you think that you or someone you know has PTSD, you are not alone. There is help available. Talk with a Care and Veterans Affairs counselor by calling 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby declare the month of June as Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder Awareness Month and encourages Hidalgo County residents to raise awareness about the many different treatment options available to those who suffer from this disorder. Approved this 13th day of June 2023.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you all very much.
We have our Hidalgo County Veteran Services Officer, Mr. Perez, who will say a few words.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. I accept this proclamation in behalf of the 21,000 veterans that reside in Hidalgo County. For those of us who work with individuals who suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, understand it could be a challenge to admit that there's a problem and to commit to counseling. But once they do address their PTSD, it could be life-changing or life-saving. We have programs like Hidalgo County Veterans Treatment Court that assist veterans once they're accepted into the program and they're required to attend counseling. However, we should not wait till a veteran has committed an offense or has harmed himself or others. We should be proactive in this matter. We lose 22 veterans a day due to suicide. And I could say PTSD is a big influence in that number. So let us not delay our assistance to our veterans as they did not delay their oath to our country. Thank you.
Thank you. Very well said.
You okay?
Next, we have a proclamation declaring 2023 Elder Abuse Awareness Month.
Agenda item 5E, proclamation recognizing June as Elder Abuse Awareness Month, whereas older adults and people with disabilities of diverse backgrounds contribute to the well-being of the city by working, caregiving, volunteering, and actively preserving customs, rituals, and traditions. And whereas as we age, we build momentum by accumulating knowledge, experience, insight, and wisdom that can be shared to enrich our community. And whereas abuse of older adults and people with disabilities in a community concern, affecting thousands of people across Texas. And whereas in 2022, there were 119,448 completed cases of elderly and disabled persons abused in Texas, of which 84,655 were confirmed. And whereas abuse against older adults and people with disabilities is grossly underreported because of social stigma, embarrassment, and fear, adult abuse affects men and women of all income and ability levels, and all cultural and ethnicity backgrounds in all communities. Whereas the Hidalgo County Criminal District Attorney's Office encourages everyone to join the Elder Abuse Awareness events, it is important to strengthen our efforts to prevent, report, and address elder abuse. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby declare the month of June as Elder Abuse Awareness Month in Hidalgo County. Approved this 13th day of June, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries again. Thank you very much.
We have Ms. Rosie Martinez, Victims Unit Director for the District Attorney's Office.
Judge, Commissioners, we just want to thank you again for every year, continuous collaboration with us, especially in this area. We need to do a lot of prevention work to try and get more resources out to our elders in our community. So all throughout this month, we're going to be doing prevention events and resource fairs for the elderly so that we can go ahead and provide them some important information to keep them safe. We also have Ms. Norma Rodriguez here from Adult Protective Services, our partnering agency. We work very closely with them, so she's here to say a few words as well.
Thank you. Good morning, Judge Cortez and Commissioners. Let me first thank you for proclaiming June as Elder Abuse Awareness Month in Hidalgo County. The U.S. Census Bureau has pegged 2034 as the first time in U.S. history that older adults 65 and older will outnumber younger people. This fast-growing population is expected to strongly impact our families and communities. Older adults are vital, contributing members of our society, and everyone deserves the right to live free from abuse. National research has shown as many as 1 in 10 older Americans are abused or neglected each year, and for every case known to programs and agencies, 24 are unknown. In a society that values the just treatment of all people, Elder Abuse Awareness Month reminds us that elder abuse has implications for all of us, and so it's important to find the right solutions to it. Therefore, it is critical that we continue to raise awareness and take steps to prevent it in our communities, educating the public on the issue and what to do when they suspect abuse, neglect, or financial exploitation of an older adult or individuals with disabilities is crucial. The APS program will remain focused on raising awareness of elder abuse. On behalf of our program, I would like to thank all of our first responders and all our judicial partners for their continued support in helping APS carry out their mission, which is to protect older adults and people with disabilities. It's through this collaboration that we are forming public and private partnerships to identify where stronger supports are needed and where existing connections must be reinforced as an essential first step toward defending our community against elder abuse. To report abuse, neglect, or financial exploitation, please call our hotline number at 1-800-252-5400. Thank you.
We also want to invite all of you. Tomorrow we will be hosting our annual parade that we do every year here in Edinburgh, and we will pass through all the adult daycare centers. We're going to convene at the Bert Ogden Arena parking lot at 8 in the morning, so everybody's welcome to attend. If you go, please decorate your vehicles in purple, because purple is a color we use for elder awareness abuse. Thank you.
Is the microphone, put it down? Okay. Thank you. Okay. On the count of 3, please. 1, 2, and one more. 3. Got it.
Just so you know. All right. One more, a very special one for me, would be the National Cancer Survivors Month.
Yeah, don't be negotiating. Don't tell them, bro.
it a few seconds for everyone to settle in. Agenda item 5F, proclamation recognizing June as National Cancer Survivors Month. Whereas according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention in the United States in 2019, 1,752,735 new cancer cases were reported, and 599,589 people died of cancer. For every 100,000 people, 439 new cancer cases were reported, and 146 people died of cancer. Whereas June is designated as National Cancer Survivors Month to help raise awareness about living as a cancer survivor, and the American Cancer Society estimates that there are more than 16.9 million cancer survivors in the United States, and 1 in 3 people will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. Whereas behind every survivor is a personal story of bravery, strength, and faith. And whereas a transition from cancer patient to cancer survivor is often a time of change and adjustment, cancer has physical, mental, emotional, social, and financial consequences that start with diagnosis and continue through treatment and beyond. It also includes issues related to follow-up treatment, side effects of treatment, the risk of getting cancer again, and quality of life. Family members, friends, and caregivers are a critical part of the experience. And whereas staying healthy after cancer treatment can be challenging, you can lower your risk of getting cancer again or having the cancer return by making healthy choices such as staying away from tobacco if you smoke, quit, and stay away from other people who smoke. Protecting your skin from overexposure to ultraviolet rays from the sun and tanning beds, eating lots of fruits and vegetables, keeping a healthy weight, and being physically active. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court encourages the county residents to come together to recognize the cancer survivors in their community, raise awareness of the challenges these survivors face, and most importantly, celebrate life. Approved this 13th day of June, 2023.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Judge Cortez and County Commissioners. First of all, we'd like to thank you on behalf of DHR Health for always ensuring that we are providing the public with the awareness that we're trying to provide. It's important that today we have our advanced care team that deals directly not only with our patients and survivors, but their families. And we are also joined in by our hematology and oncologist, Dr. Jose Cruz, a native of the Rio Grande Valley that's with us today, that is now part of our team. So on behalf of DHR Health, our over 700 physicians, our over 6,000 employees, and our board of managers, we thank you for continued support, and we ask you to join us as we will have a 5K on a Sunday, June 25th. We invite the public at this time, and we will provide that information to each and every one of you all to please join us that day and partake in the celebration of life for our survivors. And now we will have our Dr. Jose Cruz to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Liscano. Judge, County Commissioners, thank you so much for letting me speak on behalf of DHR Health Institute. As Mr. Liscano has stated, Cancer Survivor Day recognizes and celebrates those who have battled cancer and won the fight in order to bring hope to those who are still battling with this disease. If you have been affected by cancer in any way, June is the month that we come together to celebrate all those who have battled cancer. Incorporating healthy habits such as physical activity and the importance of early detection can help reduce cancer incidence. DHR Health is excited to host the Purple Project 5K, a uniting run for all cancer event. DHR would like to encourage cancer survivors, their families, and all those who want to make a difference in cancer to participate in this beautiful celebration of life and hope. This event will take place on Sunday, June 25th at 8 a.m. at the Edinburgh Municipal Park. Please be aware that our registration deadline is today, Tuesday, June 13th. To register online, please visit dhrhealth.com/Purple Project 5K or call 956-362-2114. Again, Commissioner, County Judge. Thank you for allowing me to come and speak to you all in regards to our efforts at DHR Oncology Health Institute and DHR Health. We have this fun-filled event for the community, which will bring in walkers and runners of all ages together in an effort to honor cancer survivors and their families while raising awareness of this disease that affects so many. As a physician, first and foremost, I would like to encourage everyone to participate, but most importantly, to take advantage of those health and screening services that are available not only through our institution, but through all the institutions in the area. In order for you to become a cancer survivor, cancer must first be detected. And so I encourage everyone to get the screening test that they have available, sometimes free of charge through their insurance. Nothing gives me greater hope than to tell a patient that whatever treatment that they're going to get will be a treatment aimed at cure. Many times I don't have that opportunity, and it saddens me, but that is the reality of the situation that I live with on a day-to-day basis. So being able to come and talk to you all and encourage people to get their early detection screening so that they could one day become a cancer survivor if at any point cancer becomes detected, gives me great hope, and that's the reason why I became a doctor, so that I can keep on making a difference in my community. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you.
Well, I'm a two-time cancer survivor, and I'm here because I did detect it early twice, so you're absolutely right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next we have open forum.
Yes, thank you, Judge, Commissioners. For open forum, we do have 4 participants, but I do want to clarify. Mr. Lupe Chavez, did you sign up for open forum or public participation? You're for both, okay, then, okay, for both. So, Mr. Lupe Chavez for open forum? Yes. So there is, again, a 3-minute time limit. I will advise when there's 1 minute left. And if I may, for everyone in the audience, I'd like to remind the public that they're always welcome to participate in public forum. They need to be familiar with the rules of decorum, which prohibit direct and indirect personal attacks on members of the court or any county individuals. The comments made should also pertain to county business and cannot be threatening in nature. Mr. Chavez, I will start when you start, sir.
Thank you again. My name is Lupe Chavez. I enjoy the proclamations. I just wish that maybe you should give time limits like you do the public. You know, you only give us 3 minutes to speak, but you pat yourselves on the back for like a whole hour and inconvenience us. I know DHR was just here. Detection is important, and I'm glad you're a survivor, and probably some of you here. But some people can't afford it. But also in the terms of, if I can speak about DHR, you know, my experience with cancer survivors with them is a lot different. They don't survive. And it's unfortunate what these families go through with the bureaucracy there with DHR. I know I also wanted to, thank the clerks here for joking about our county courthouse. It's very encouraging for me to see an elected official make a joke about our county courthouse when I can see signs that it's falling apart already and it's not even open, and officials are concerned about moving into those wonderful offices. Now, I did come here because I don't really get to speak to my elected officials or any of their staff, and I'll speak here directly. I live in Precinct 2, and last year when our esteemed giant legal mind, Terry Palacios, was running for office, you know, he went to a cutting ceremony for the Dicker Road expansion, and there's no streetlights on Dicker Road. That we've made this expansion, and I did bring it to the attention of your chief of staff, everybody here. I've called everybody, TxDOT, every city, McAllen, FAR, that's in the extra, you know, that handles McCall. We're pushing all this development and traffic, you know, to the south, you know, to FAR, Las Milpas, Hidalgo, all those areas in McAllen, and we don't even have streetlights. And we're going to go with these hike and bike trails. I did go to a workshop with the city of McAllen where there was a presentation for the hike and bikes, and the question came up for lighting again, and that it's too expensive. So, I mean, it just seems odd to me that there's lighting for all these 20, 30 miles of hike and bike trails in Precinct 2 and wherever else you go. I got it, man. Thank you. But there's no lighting on major road projects, and I've come here repeatedly, and I've called because there's been children on ATVs killed on Jackson, on McCall, on 23rd. And nobody wants to put lighting in that area. Why? You won't even answer the call. You won't answer the door. And one of your employees, the commissioner in McAllen, they get up and walk out. You know, I pay for health care for the health plan of my daughter with the city of McAllen, and I went to go talk about their deficit. They got up and walked away. And I pay into that system. So thank you for your time. That's my 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chavez. Next presenter is Mr. Lee Castro. Mr. Castro. Mr. Castro, there is a 3-minute time limit. I will advise when there is 1 minute left, and I will start when you start.
Good morning, County Judge and County Commissioners of this court. I want to thank you, first of all, for taking the time to listen to my concerns today, but most importantly, for all the time and all the efforts you have spent in improving the lives of our citizens here, our taxpayers, and of course for the welfare of everyone in the Hidalgo County. So thank you all for your time. I know sometimes it can make difficult to make wise and decisions wisely, and appreciate your efforts in doing so. Okay. How much time do I have, Valde?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay. February, March, April, May, June. This has been going on for 5 months. So I'm going to try to do 5 months in 3 minutes. Okay. My name is Lee Castro, for the record. I am a funeral director and embalmer with Legacy Chapels. We're a family-owned and funeral home in Edinburgh, Texas, serving this county. We do provide professional services for burials and cremations, and we're also currently the vendor for the funeral and burial services for the qualified Hidalgo County indigent families. That is an agenda item which is going to be F1A in your packet today. We are very honored to work with this county in providing the most important services to our citizens, no matter what their economic advantages or disadvantages are. I want to, however, do express my disappointment with the Purchasing Department. In February of this year, I did get an extension granted to me by a gentleman by the name of Eduardo Balmares, who was a director of Purchasing Department of February 2023, informing me that my contract with the Hidalgo County for the indigent services was going to be extended till April 29th of 2024. 2 months later, I get another notice. Before that notice, we did sign the authorization to extend it for the year. It's supposed to be brought before this court. It never made it to this court. 2 months later, I get a notice in April. By then, Adina Trevino, acting purchasing director of the Hidalgo Purchasing Department, stating that they're going to rescind that. They didn't want to extend the contract. They didn't want to go out for public bids. And they informed me that they're going to grant me a 60-day extension, which I mentioned to them that I was disappointed in that decision. However, I did sign the 60-day contract, which ends at the end of June of this year. They did went ahead and they brought it to the court. The court approved. Purchasing Department approved to go out for bids, in which Everyone participated. The county published it. They had 3 good bids from 3 well-qualified funeral homes. Rick Brown Family Funeral Home of Mission, Texas, who currently the owner sits on the funeral commission with the Texas Funeral Service Commission, who was appointed by the governor for that position. Second was Memorial Funeral Home, who has 2 locations, Edinburgh and San Juan, who also the owner, Belmo Ciudad de Leon, was past president of the Texas Funeral Directors Association. And myself, Lee Castro, Legacy Chapels of Edinburgh, whom I am also a past president of the Texas Funeral Directors Association. So you got 3 good, legitimate bids, ranging anywhere for burials from $1,895 to $250, and cremations ranging from $895 to $225. Later on, about a week later, we get notified. They open the bids. Everybody's numbers was exposed on May 19th. They come back, they send me an email, and they tell me, hey, we have a question about your bid. Clarification. So I have a minute left?
No, sir. You have time.
I have time. So in short, in closing, I asked this board, I did get a phone call from Ignacio yesterday, informing me that they want to reject all the bids. I asked that the court consider this item if they want to extend it for another year, and I'm welcome to work with him. He did reach out to me saying that he wants to, again, work the verbiage out, and now they want to request for proposals. So I appreciate your input. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry for the short time in 5 months.
Thank you, sir. Our next presenter is Ms. Fern McClary. Ms. Fern, as always. Yes, ma'am. 3-minute time limit. I will advise when there's 1 minute, and I will start when you start.
Commissioners, every once in a while I restate that the fact that I and those who speak at these meetings are also working for the betterment of the people. It is important for you to understand that people feel more comfortable calling me or the Owls when they should be calling you. The county should take steps to improve this issue. This is your job to listen. I asked a lady why she could not come to the meeting and speak directly to her elected officials. She said, if it's not before an election, they will not listen, or they will create another tax, and I cannot afford that. People are afraid. And she said, Fern, you get up there and tell them to stop spending, and I can tell you believe what you are saying. Commissioners, people are really upset about the constant increasing taxes and the values that this court is held responsible. Why is it that this court cannot understand that taking more money from the poor will not solve the problem of poverty? The U.S. Census states that the median family income in Hidalgo County is $44.6 thousand, and that this condition cannot be improved by increasing taxes or buying more buildings or leasing a Suburban that costs more than that. In reference to the courthouse and public opinion, they prevail. Thoughts are highly powered, are working against its completion. Why? Because things keep happening that prevent any progress. Have you been on the site? Weeds are growing and the plants are dying. But most of all, it looks vacant. There is no progress. It is as if a spell has been placed on the project and everything is frozen in place. This is what happens when elected officials force a project on the public. It is not only that the people do not want this project, it is that they are going to have to modify their lives for the next 30 years to pay for it.
1 minute.
In the same way, this deals with the city of Edinburgh to build a multi-level parking lot is as detrimental of the people of Edinburgh. The cost of the facility will be distributed among a population of 100,000 instead of 1.2 million if it were built by the county. UT Rio Grande Valley wants to use the multi-level parking lot, 3 or so floors. So why aren't they paying for this parking lot instead of the taxpayers of Edinburgh? UT system has one of the largest endowment in the country. The bottom line is the longer the courthouse remains under construction, the greater possibility that a great flood will come and move it closer to the expressway where it will become less of a problem. Obviously, there's a problem with the courthouse, so could y'all please, even the old courthouse, bless her heart, she's standing
time.
Still standing.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next presenter is Mr. Mark Vasquez. Mr. Vasquez? Mr. Vasquez, there is a 3-minute time limit. I will advise when there is 1 minute, and I will start when you start.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I've come here in particular regarding one item. That is in regards to the funding for Operation Stone Garden. You see, there are some of us in the Valley who are opposed to these policies. Operation Stone Garden, Operation Lone Star. There are some who question the validity of it all. Many of whom question the humanity of it altogether. Question the influence itself and the harm it presents to our communities. Oversaturation of police, the hyper-surveillance of our communities, and the effects that arrest and detainment policies have on our communities itself. But today, however, rather than speak of these things, I wish to present an invitation as well as alternatives to what we see as, or in our circles, referred to as alternatives to the construct. That, in this particular case, alternatives to policing. There's been a number of times that I've reached out to certain agencies like the District Attorney's Office here in Hidalgo County, asking for a moment to sit and discuss the implementation or the introduction to the discussion regarding cite and release programs such as that, for example, or the mental health officer program, some of these programs are already available or already part of practice in other counties, in other cities in Texas, here in the Rio Grande Valley as well. The city of FAR has a mental health officer program within their police, their department, as well as a cite and release program as well. So we were directed to our county agencies, and I wish to present to you guys as well an invitation to a discussion altogether. I intend to reach out to you all as well, see maybe we can speak in private regarding these programs and what are the logistics involved. In particular, what these programs or the benefit these programs will present to our communities. So that is what I'm doing. I ask if perhaps we can consider joining the discussion, these programs that have already been in place in other communities in Texas, and we feel that would benefit particularly our marginalized and underrepresented communities here in the Rio Grande Valley.
1 minute.
Are there any questions regarding any of this? I wonder whether some of you are familiar with some of these programs, like cite and release in particular.
We can't have a conversation with you. We're not ignoring you. We
No,
just
I
can't
understand.
have.
I imagine that I could reach out, and perhaps we could discuss this in private, or as a group, as a collective. That is my request. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else, Walden?
No, sir.
All right. Laura, are you here for the 9B, the last part? Why don't you come up, let's take care of 9B.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Guerra with the District Clerk's Office, and I am requesting indemnification of a cash shortage of $2.63.
Let's think about that for a while.
Motion to approve.
Anybody have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Item 7A, the approval of resolution supporting the Hidalgo County Prosperity Task Force. What we're doing here is the Prosperity Task Force is trying to deal with the complexities of poverty, and we've asked all the 22 municipalities to support, our efforts. And so far, the good news is we've had 20 of the 22 municipalities support it. We thought it would be appropriate for us to support our own endeavors. So with that, I have Mario Reina here to accept the resolution, should we honor it by accepting it.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next
gonna
item is
present,
7B.
Are they gonna present or talk or anything?
Bob, do you want to say anything quickly?
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge. Thank you so much for setting this resolution. The Prosperity Task Force is doing a lot of great things. We're doing a lot of collaboration. We have created 14 groups already, and good things are happening out there. So I want to thank you for we ourselves at the county passing this resolution. Thank you, Judge.
Thank Next item, we have item 7B. Commissioner Fuentes.
Approval of resolution appointing a member to the tax increment reinvestment zone. Number 2, City of Donna, Texas Board of Directors. I nominate David Suarez. Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 8A.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Rosalinda Cantu presenting for the District Attorney's Office. Item 8A, the VA's Victim Assistance Program. We're asking for approval to submit a VAP grant number 2924305 budget adjustment to the Office of the Governor.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item 10A, Head Start Program. Irma?
Thank you.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item A, Head Start is requesting approval to submit a supplemental funding application for one-time funding in the amount of $250,000 to upgrade our security systems at our campuses and repair the roof of one of our Head Start campuses.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 2, Head Start is requesting authorization to accept the assignation as a Texas School Ready Lead Agent. And I do want to mention this is the first time in the program's history that Head Start has been selected as a lead agent for Texas School Ready.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Head Start is requesting approval to enter into the best and final negotiated contract with Leonel Garza Jr. and Associates in the amount of $13,500 for the appraisal services of 18 Head Start facilities.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Head Start is requesting an exemption from competitive bidding under the Texas Local Governmental Code 262.024 for professional services to provide medical and dental services, and Head Start is requesting acceptance of the providers listed as qualified in order to proceed to the next phase of procurement process. And finally, Head Start is requesting approval for Head Start to negotiate contracts that were approved by legal counsel for all professional service providers as requested through the Hidalgo County Head Start Programs RFQs for said services and detailed above and attached here too.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Head Start is requesting approval to enter into a memorandum of understanding between the 16, not the 18, community agencies listed.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And finally, Head Start is
Motion
request.
carries. Go ahead.
Head Start is requesting approval to enter into a memorandum of understanding with 5 local education agencies, the ISDs listed.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Did some not elect to,
No, they're still going to their school boards, Judge. We've already had a few, but these have already gone through their school boards. We're still pending a couple of them.
okay, but I heard there were some issues with a couple of schools.
Yes, Wesco ISD has submitted an information to us that they are terminating the MOU because they are going to be providing pre-K services on their own.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. We have a motion and a second to approve.
Sure.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Sheriff's Office.
Judge, Commissioners, I'm going to ask before we go to the next item, there are a couple of issues that we do need to discuss in closed session.
Okay. Okay, pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Codes, under that section, we're allowed to go to closed session to discuss those items. We'll be going to discuss items listed in Code Section 551.071, .072, .074, and .087. I have a motion to do so.
Motion made?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We've got 11:19 a.m. Okay, we're back from closed session. I have 4 minutes after noon. We have some people waiting for some actions, and we're going to take some items out of order. Let me find it. Item, Purchasing Department, Nacho. Item 21A3.
21A3. Yes.
Go ahead. Item 21A3.
Josh?
21A3, I think. Yep.
Discussion, consideration, and action to approve amendment to agreement for collection of fines and fee services between Hidalgo County and Purdue Brandon, Fielder Collins, and Mott. Contract to extend the termination date to December 31st, 2024. Commissioners Court approved the award of contract with Purdue Brandon, Fielder Collins, and Mott for the collection of delinquent court fees, fines, and related costs in compliance with the public notice requirement for a professional legal service contract, and order approving the same, and in accordance with the Texas Government Code 2254 and Article 103.0031 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures, with approval of written finding, with authority for county judge to sign any requirement documents.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Can we go to item 20, well, #21 3B? Yeah, go ahead, Nacho.
Yes. 21B for County Judge's Office 1A, requesting exception from competitive bidding requirements of the Texas Local Government Code 262.024A4, a personal service.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
B, acceptance and approval of personal service agreement and fee schedule between Hidalgo County and Chris Edward Eddie Aldrete Strategic Partners, commencing on June 13, 2022, and terminating on September 13, 2022, for consulting service related to county planning and economic development service, with authority for the county judge to sign all requirement documents, subject to compliance with insurance requirements.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Nacho, thank you very much. We'll be back to you in a minute. Do we have any action items from closed session?
No, Judge, I mean, I can take those on when we get
Okay.
to the, when we're there.
All right. Then we're back to our regular agenda items. I believe the next item would have been the Sheriff's Department 11A.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Chief Oscar Montoya on behalf of Sheriff J. Eddie Guerra. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On item 11A, Sheriff's Operation Stone Guard Grant, authorization, we're asking for authorization and approval to accept grant award from the Officer of the Governor Homeland Security Grant Division in relation to the FY 2022 Operation Stone Garden Grant, number 3172207, in the amount of $2 million, with authority for the county judge as authorized official to accept the award electronically. And number 2, authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions. And number 3, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the FY 2022 Operation Stone Garden Grant in the amount of $2 million and appropriation of the same.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Item B, Jail Commissary 2102, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor in the amount of $382,933 for year 2023 for the 3rd and 4th quarters.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you all. Have a blessed day.
You as well. Constable Precinct 3.
Commissioners, if I may, for Constable Precinct 3, it says Leos account 1220, approval of certification of revenues certified by the county auditor in the amount of $1,323.86 for the 2023 Peace Officer allocation, Leos funds awarded and received from the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts and appropriation of the same.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Precinct 4, Constable.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. 13A, Constable Gaitan here for Precinct 4. A 1-91-103, discussion, consideration, approval to appoint Juan Alberto Avila as Deputy Constable by myself, Constable Gaitan, Precinct 4, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code 86.011.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, that's all I've got.
Planning Department.
Good afternoon, Judge Commissioners. TJ Arredondo with the Planning Department. Item 14A18, pipeline utility permit application. Applicant Synergy Development and Construction is applying for a permit to open cut Texas Road and Curve Road to lay a 48-inch concrete pipe in order to serve RBR number 5 with storm drainage. We recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Human Resources, Erica.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Erika Reina for the Department of Human Resources. Item 15A, I'm requesting a waiver of the following if applicable for the personnel items listed. I need action on item number 3, the budget amendment policy, personnel-related amendments.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 15B for the District Attorney's Office, approve and award a discretionary step for the employees listed below in accordance with HR criteria certification as per Section 8.03 of the Classification and Compensation Plan, effective upon Commissioner's Court approval. The request is a discretionary step 4 for slot 0179, Assistant District Attorney 3, grade 17, and discretionary step 5 for slot 0227, Assistant District Attorney 3 at a grade 17. Everything is in accordance with policy. I do recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 15C for the Health Department, approve the following actions effective next full pay period, June 19, 2023. The action is to delete slot 0055, a coordinator 3 at grade 13, slot 0084, a courier at a grade 3, and slot 0125, a TB registered nurse supervisor, grade 17. And to create slot 0086, registered nurse 4, grade 17, slot 0087, a supervisor warehouse, grade 10, and 0088, a warehouse specialist, grade 8. Item 15C2 is approval to revise the classified position list in accordance with the actions above. Commissioners, this does result in a cost savings to the county and allows the department to operate more efficiently with the positions that are needed at this time. I do recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 15D for Precinct 3, Road and Bridge, approve the following action effective upon Commissioner's Court approval. The action is to delete slot 0132 and Executive Assistant 2 at a grade 13. I do recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And item 15E for Precinct 4 from Road and Bridge, approve the following actions effective upon Commissioner's Court approval. The action is to delete slot 0027, a Program Manager 3, grade 17, and create slot 0032, an Equipment Operator 2 at a grade 8, and slot 0033, a Mechanic 1 at a grade 6. Item 15E2 is approval of the following action effective June 13th, 2023 through December 31st, 2023. This is to add supplemental allowance to slot 0016 and Equipment Operating 4 in the amount of $5,000 in line with the current duties that the position has taken. I do recommend approval of this items.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Have a great afternoon.
You too. Eddie, Health and Human Services. Or Direne. Hi, Direne.
Hi, good afternoon. Item 16A, Environmental Health Disclosure regarding request for approval of temporary debris management site for debris resulting from the state or federal disaster submitted to TCEQ to allow Precinct 1 to open burn brush from the April 26, 2023 severe weather event 23-0012.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 16B, requesting approval of memorandum of understanding between MHP Salud and the County of Hidalgo, Texas, and authorization for Eduardo Olivares, Director of Health and Human Services, to sign and execute all required documents on behalf of the County of Hidalgo, Texas.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 16C, requesting approval to accept and for county judge to e-sign the immunization locals amendment number 5. The purpose of the amendment is to update verbiage in the statement of work.
Motion to approve?
Second?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 16D, requesting approval to submit budget revisions to realign available monies between budget categories for the following grant programs: TB State FY23, TB Federal FY23, immunizations FY23, COVID-19 ELC, COVID-19 Round 3, Public Health Workforce Expansion. And item 16D2 is requesting approval to submit the renewal application and budget for the TB Federal FY24 grant program.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 16E, under Indigent Healthcare Program. Item E1, discussion, consideration, approval to draw down funds for additional comprehensive hospital increased reimbursement program, payment year 3, IGT, in the amount to be determined by Health and Human Service Commission. Instructions to be paid from the local provider participation fund with a transfer date of June 23rd, 2023, and a settlement date of June 26, 2023.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 16E1B, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor from the LPPF fund in the amount to be determined by HHSC instructions.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
And item 16E1C, approval of appropriation of funds from the LPPF in the amount to be determined by HHSC instructions.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
18, myself. 18A, approve, requesting,
We have, Commissioner, I believe we have item 17, WIC. WIC.
oh, I'm sorry.
Hello, good afternoon, Commissioners. Clarissa Ramirez with the Hidalgo County WIC program. Item 17A, WIC Lactation Support Center, requesting to ratify the submission of the Lactation Support Center Services Strategic Expansion Program FY23 Budget Amendment, contract number HHS 0004559-00001 to the Texas Department of State Health Services on March 31st, 2023.
Motion to approve?
Second?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Commissioner, if I may, item 18, as he indicated that he had a public participation form. Mr. Chavez? Mr. Lupe Chavez? Commissioners, for the record, Mr. Chavez is not present for items 18A, 18B, and 18C. Thank you.
18A, requesting approval of agreement between Hidalgo County and Hidalgo County Housing Authority for the conveyance of real property to the county for a public purpose and pursuant to local government code section 272.001 with authority for the county judge to execute all related documents.
Motion to approve?
Second?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. B, requesting approval of an interlocal cooperation agreement between the County of Hidalgo and the City of Alamo regarding road improvements for the Ridge Road project from Tower Road to Border Road. And 2, in accordance with section 791.014 of the Texas Government Code, requesting approval of the interlocal cooperation agreement project regarding the Ridge Road project.
Motion to approve?
Second?
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. C. C, approval of advanced funding agreement between Hidalgo County and the Texas Department of Transportation for the Valley View Road Bridge Replacement and Rehabilitation Project, CSJ 092102-515, and approval of order authorizing the county judge to docu-sign the AFA and all the pertinent documents for said project.
Motion to approve?
Second?
All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. D 1, 2, and 3, requesting approval to submit the application for the Home to Texas UT Austin Summer Internship Program with a finding by Commissioners Court that the program serves a public purpose by supporting UT students returning back to the county and the region in order to promote local employers, local employment, and the local economy. Number 2, requesting approval to include a community support contribution in the amount of $5,000 with a Home to Texas UT Austin Summer Internship application for the Home to Texas Scholarship Fund. And 3, requesting approval to appoint Cassandra Trevino, student of the University of Texas at Austin, as an intern with the Hidalgo County Precinct 2 for the period of May 30th, 2023 through July 28th, 2023.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Lastly, Precinct 2, Cesar Chavez requesting approval to accept counteroffers to purchase tracts of land known as parcels 10 and 32 associated with the Precinct 2 Cesar Chavez Road project from Business 83 to Ridge Road and from Business 83 to Nolana Loop, with authority of the county judge to sign the administrative evaluation and approval forms.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 19A, requesting approval of Second Amendment to the interlocal cooperative agreement between the Edinburgh Consolidated Independent School District and the County of Hidalgo for adding recreational facilities to the premises of the Lynn San Manuel Veterans Park. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Budget and Management, Mr. Salazar.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Ray Salazar, Department of Budget and Management. Item 20A, approval to submit a request for funds from the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts for, as authorized under Section 74-602 of the Texas Property Code, with authority for the county judge to sign the request letter.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 20B1 under ARPA, discussion, consideration, and action to approve the following ARPA projects as per Exhibit A. Judge, these are, Commissioners, these are projects that we've deemed eligible under ARPA for use of general fund expenditures.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 20B2, discussion, consideration, and action to approve the use of ARPA funds for the Hidalgo County Property Insurance Coverage Project, ARPA number 23-125-334, to provide financial safeguards for newly acquired and improved buildings.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 20B3, requesting approval to amend the proposed budget for the Precinct 2 Small Repairs and Rehabilitation Project, ARPA number 22-122-098, Memorandum of Understanding, Exhibit C, update project descriptions and proposals.
If I could just add that if we can approve this subject to legal.
Make a motion to approve, subject to legal?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 20B4, approval for a budget amendment for the Hidalgo County Wi-Fi project, ARPA project number 22-200-076 to reflect $1,868,622.78.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Item 20C1, under Economic Development, approval of our 2023 appropriation of funds into economic development in the amount of $100.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 20C2, A, approval to rescind the certification of revenues and appropriation approved on May 16, 2023 on agenda item 90809 related to the North Alamo Road TxDOT project. And item B, approval of the 2022 certification of revenues and appropriation for the North Alamo TxDOT project.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Purchasing.
Good afternoon, George Commissioners, Mr. Guerra. For the record, Ignacio Mesco from the Purchasing Department. Item 21A for Hidalgo County, 1A, presentation of recording grid for the purpose of ranking by Hidalgo County Commissioners Court of vendor submissions with the recommendation by the Evaluation Committee members for the debris monitoring and management services. Do you wish to rank in the order of their scores?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B, requesting authority for the Purchasing Department to proceed and commence negotiation with the number one ranked firm, Tetra Tech, for debris monitoring and management services.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
2A, requesting approval for the rental of a cooling tower, accessories, and installation through Hidalgo County's membership with TIPS, contract number 220605, awarded vendor Texas Chillers Systems in the amount of $41,086 for the first month and $12,000 for any additional month.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B, requesting authority for Facilities Management Director to sign all required documentation.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
21C for Precinct 1A, approval to accept a donation from Superior Health Plan for the Hidalgo County Progreso Community Resource Center to sponsor the creation of a hygiene closet located at 510 FM, 1015 Progreso, Texas.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
B, requesting approval of the agreement between Hidalgo County and Superior Health Plan with authority for the county judge to execute the agreement subject to legal review and approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
2, requesting acceptance and approval of the certificate of construction completion for the Cargill Solar Lights project as recommended by project engineer RO Engineering with authority for the assistant chief of staff to sign all the required documents.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
21D for Constable's Department 1A, pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 263.152, discussion and approval to declare as surplus law enforcement tasers are listed on Exhibit A, including authority to remove said property from the Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 4 inventory list.
Motion to second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
B, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code 791.0012, 791.00323, requesting approval of an interlocal cooperation agreement between Hidalgo County Constable Precinct Number 4 and the City of Edcouch Police Department for mutual benefit and assistance in connection with the transfer of surplus law enforcement tasers with authorization for county judge and or Constable Precinct 4 to sign all required documents.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Mr. Amezcua, Commissioners, I'm not clear if it was also intended for public participation, but out of an abundance of caution, public participation form for Mr. Castro related to E1 funeral and burial services. Mr. Castro, did you wish to participate in public participation? Yes, I do. Okay, so go ahead, sir.
So again, before you, do I say anything yet or not yet?
No, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
So again, before you, we're going over this particular agenda item where the county wants to reject all the bids. Again, there was an extension, and then it was withdrawn, and then they ended up, we had discussed earlier about going back and revisiting that. The reason they wanted to go back to bids was because they wanted to clarify some specifications on the bidding process, which, that's why I signed the extension for another 60 days to end in June. And in doing so, that was with Dina, and now I'm this first time I talked to Mr. Ignacio yesterday. So he informed me now that they want to get rid of that process, the bid, and go into a request for proposals. Again, for the same reason that they want to fix the verbiage to be more detailed. And so I just, wanted to come here before you again, just to remind you, I mean, it does end in June. I know if he wants to be more articulate, like he's told me yesterday by phone, I have no objectives. I know he's going to try to get some people together to see what exactly the county needs are now, since I guess they're changing that I'm not aware of. But just to give you an idea on the volume, for the past 4 years that we've had the contract, we've averaged about 40 cremations for the county and 3 to 5 funerals for the county a year. Okay? So to me, when they pose questions like, what is your capacity for funerals, and we average 700 funerals, I don't see the connection there. Now, the county does not guarantee any of the vendors or any of the people who requested for bids, doesn't guarantee any specific number. The county doesn't say you're going to have to service 800 families this coming year. And so in doing so, I mean, I think because of the way the bidding process has worked for the past 20-something years that you all have done this before, I think it works fine. And if they do want to change it, okay. But they should have changed it before you all approved to go out for bids, which we already make the expenses as taxpayers to put out the proposal, to get everybody in all three cream of the crop funeral homes to make the time and effort to provide, again, bid packages. And now the numbers are exposed and they want to just throw it out and start all over again. And so I recommend, or I'm hoping for the court to say either okay, and I understand with Mr. Amuesqua, I told him we're able to visit with him, and if he wants to table the item, or if they want to extend it for that remaining 5-6 months now, because we've been at it for 5 months for about this, then maybe yes, we could get together and find out what exactly the needs are of this, because maybe they're changing, I don't know.
Well, then,
Under public participation form, the gentleman is stating what he'd like to state for this action item. The action item presented by Purchase Department is for consideration to the court to act, not act, or at this time, no action for further consideration on another court session.
and is there a recommendation from purchasing or from you?
Yes, Mr. Amuesqua, the recommendation from purchasing is to
Yes, at this time, we are requesting to reject all the bids and also to give us the opportunity to go out for proposals. We work on the new RFP packet where we are adding new services into the scope of work. So at this time, we are requesting to give us the opportunity to go out for proposals.
How long is was the contract for? What had we put up before? How long was this contract?
Yes.
What was the term of the contract, sorry?
Yes, the total for this contract was a total of 3 years. Well, we execute 2 years. We didn't extend the 3rd year.
Now, because we're coming up to the 60-day time period that this contract was extended for, would it be better to just extend it for the year and then clear up all these other issues so that we can have them rebid, I guess, next year? Or are you recommending against that?
Commissioner, we can do that. We can do that. But once again, because we are adding more services into the new proposal, that was the recommendation. But I mean, at the end of the day,
so, Mr. Amuesqua,
you know, want to service the department.
Mr. Amuesqua, let me ask a question.
Yes, sir.
If contemplated to extend, what does that do by way of your ability or the department's ability to discuss, and I'll use the word negotiate very loosely, but to discuss and or negotiate with whomever with this process? Does it limit you?
That is correct, sir, because it's a bid. We can just contemplate the lowest bidder as a final awarded vendor. That one of the reasons that we want to go and do a request for proposal, so we can evaluate other than price, such as previous relationship with the vendor, with the county, quality of the service, and any other factor that we can include in the evaluation.
Okay.
And I just wanted to know what's on the agenda. Like, could we even extend it for a year based on what's on the agenda?
No, Commissioner.
No.
Just, can I?
The wishes of the court? Y'all want to take no action and then bring it back, or what is it? Or even if we wanted to extend it, we couldn't. Or we could act on it, or we can take no action.
So,
Go ahead.
The process of continuing to prepare the bid package to go out to bid, and how would this affect the continuing services from, let's say, the services that he's being provided or would there be any type of overlap in coverage?
Or downtime, yeah.
And how would that affect our residents?
So right now, Commissioner, you do have the current status, or the current status is it will expire through the end of the month. And so services by way of the arrangement would continue through the end of the month.
Now, would it be possible to approve this today and next agenda, give an extension, put it on his contract while the new bids or proposals come in? That way we don't have a lapse in coverage?
So that's a good question. So, Mr. Amezcua, by way of the procurement process, the purchasing procurement process, would that be acceptable for one, action to be taken today by way of this process moving forward? And number two, coming back at our next court session and again, I use this word loosely, and possibly extending the current arrangement we have with the current vendor so that while this process is undertaken, there is no lapse in service?
Yes, Mr. Guerra, we can proceed that way. We can go month to month until we decide to go again out for bids or RFPs. That is correct, yes.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir. It's
And so my thing, the current contract, the way it is, was that it ended in March, April.
Right.
And so the county had the option to extend it for one more year. I think with that extension, we can buy time to figure out what exactly that department wants to do and what direction they want to head. Because again, the call volume that we currently serve, unless they have a different number that I don't know about, or they are projecting that, let me tell you, when COVID, we had the contract. Nobody in this chamber called Legacy and asked me, how are you doing with the big increase of calls? And we were to handle 155 calls in 1 month. Okay? So unless they see a big dramatic disaster coming up that I don't see, or a pandemic, I think we're able to and capable of servicing the remaining of the year, which is another 6 more months. And I think that's ample time for us to sit down and see exactly what it is that they want to figure out or hash out. I don't have a problem with that. But to come back and say, Lee, we're just going to extend it for a month, or we're still not working on it, we're going to extend it for another month, or we're still working on it, extend it for another month. Again, this has been going on for 5 months already. And I just want to have some kind of security to say, hey, you know what? We do want to participate. Again, this is the first time I talked to him, was just yesterday. Okay? And so if we're able to have that open forum and find out what exactly the other individuals, who I don't know who they are, we've dealt with the Human and Services Department. That's the one that we fall under with the indigent care, and we've never had any complaints, and we've always billed timely, and we've been good stewards of the county's money and services we provided. And I know for a fact that any of the three remaining, or the three bidders that we recently did, that they want to throw out this workout, we're also capable of handling the same services. So I'm just saying, if you go table the item, go back and say, hey, let's just finish the remaining 5 months, then we could visit this and we could hash it out and see what exactly he wants. Because I don't know, I mean, request for proposals is totally different.
At this point, I don't see how that would benefit the county on tabling this item, because we would stop the process. However, I do agree with you on your circumstances, and I appreciate everything that you did for us during COVID or to our families. That's why I do recommend putting something on the agenda next time that will kind of resolve some of his issues and some of our issues here while going through this proposal or this.
My biggest concern is that this was a bid and everybody's exposed their numbers, and now we're going to start the process over.
But are numbers exposed to people, or they're just with you? Because I know that I haven't seen anything.
No, I mean, you know the other.
We all know each other's numbers because we're all there and we were present.
Oh, okay.
Some by, well, no, the photo conference wasn't done, but I've gotten calls from different ones, and they all know the numbers. So it kind of, again, going back, if you do 40 cremations in a year for the Hidalgo County, if you're going to buy a crematory, for example, the machine costs $185,000. It's not cost effective to own your own crematory at that call volume. Hence, if you don't have one, you're able to lower your price. So, I mean, there's a lot of things in there, okay? We as funeral home owners and And, you know, I mean, and we're, again, all three funeral homes are high-volume funeral homes, and they're the only ones probably who are ever going to, and you're going to get the same result next year. I guarantee it. Because if you look at previous histories, it's always the same three and the same thing, going for the same bids. I haven't seen any other different participant. So to me, again, like you mentioned, I mean, the numbers are exposed, and I do feel it's a disadvantage because now we have to go through the process again, and I know you're going to select a group of people who could also have some sort of nepotism in the system. You know, I can understand if you do a proposal, you're looking for something, you say, hey, I need a high-value people. I mean, all these funeral homes are licensed by the Funeral Commission, you know. And then if you're going to put out a bid, of course, you go with the lowest bidder. Proposal, my understanding, and is that you want someone who, hey, I want to make sure they specialize in certain things, or we want to make sure this is done, this is done, this is done. But you could have done the same thing with the bid process, which is the reason why they told me they did it in the first place. There was a few changes, but it was the same thing.
Josie, if we take no action today, could we always bring it back next meeting and take action?
Yes, and that way you have all.
Just so that there's some clarification as to why we're doing this?
Get the clarification and you have all options available to you before the end of the month.
Okay. Is that, are y'all comfortable with that?
Yeah, I think our purchasing director really has some, you know, questions with all this, and that's why this is going out for the
Okay.
proposals and so forth. So, but I think let's take no action and bring it back for clarification, and
I'll second that motion.
we don't need
Yeah, you don't need
just
to-
do no
so
action.
just
Take
no action. So for the record, the no action is on purchasing item E1, Health and Human Services, and it's related to the funeral and burial services.
Thank you for your time.
I appreciate y'all's
Thank you.
time. I really do. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and that would be for A, B, and C. So, Mr. Amezcua, item F under purchasing. You can-
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Guerra. 21F for Facilities Management. 1A, requesting approval of an exception from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024 A7C, an item that can be obtained from only one source, including electric power, gas, water, and any other utility services.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries.
B, acceptance and approval of the service agreement application with the City of Edinburgh for commercial container contract for 1 3 cubic yard commercial container to be pick up to 2 occurrences per week in the monthly total amount of $121.44 for the Hidalgo County Facilities Management located at 1200 South Interstate 69 with authority for the County Judge or Facilities Management Director to sign all required documents.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
21G for juvenile probation, 1, acceptance and approval of the best and final negotiated offer meeting all requirements for a service contract between Hidalgo County and Erika Ann Perez, DBA Blue Bonnet Counseling Center for the Lifelines Bureau's Juvenile Mental Health Court Program.
Motion approved.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
21H for County Clerk, 1, requesting approval to complete and submit a credit application required by vendor Hampshire Slimmer Corporate Sales to procure audio equipment with the authority for the county judge or executive officer to sign credit application.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all I have. Have a good afternoon, Commissioners.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Valde?
Thank you, Commissioners. Under 22A1, no action. 22A2, no action. Under 22A3, just as a disclosure, as everyone is well aware, we had an issue with the chiller at the current courthouse. It resulted in operations being, or county operations by way of the courthouse being closed for 3 days last week. Chiller was procured, and it was installed and worked on over the weekend. Operations at the courthouse were back to normal yesterday and continuing. Item 23, there is no specific action on 23A1, 23A B, and 23C, direction regarding county government operations, including but not limited to essential functions. Judge, Commissioners, as always, or as we have been for quite some time, we continue to follow CDC recommended guidelines. and working with facilities management and human resources in addressing any issues of concerns with any of our county departments related to the issue at hand, being COVID-19 and any other issues in general. Again, the health and safety of our residents that do business with the County of Hidalgo is first and foremost, as is the valuable services provided by our county employees. We have there, for the record, there is no action or or we've already gone to closed session, my apologies. We've gone to closed session and come back out of open session, or come back into open session, and so for the record, 25A, there's no action to be taken. 25B, there's no action to be taken. 26, under open session, 26A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same, there's no specific action to be taken. 26B, pending or potential litigation, no specific action to be taken. 26C, discussion, consideration, possible action regarding response to public health emergency, no specific action to be taken. 26D, deliberation regarding the following economic development negotiations pursuant to Chapter 551, Texas Government Codes, Sections 551.087, Project Ann. Commissioners, we will proceed as directed. 26E, claim of Margarita Rodriguez Sanchez et al. Versus the county. Commissioners, I'd like for the court to entertain a motion and assigning this to Ms. Josephine Ramirez's office for defense.
Do you need a motion?
Yes, sir.
A motion made?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 26F, claim of David Ochoa. Commissioners would like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $2,536.40.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 26G, claim of Sandra Sanchez. Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $309.08.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, there is no need for closed or open session. No action on 27, no action on 28 before adjournment. Our next court session is on the 27th of this month. That will be, 1, 2, 3, 4. That will be an afternoon meeting. June 27th will be an afternoon meeting, 1:30 Drainage District and 2 p.m. Commissioners Court. We do have adjournment.
Real quick on that, when's our next meeting next?
The 27th, Commissioner.
And in the morning or afternoon?
Afternoon.
I'm going to a conference. Is anybody going to that San Antonio conference? Okay, perfect. I'm just not gonna be out of it.
Okay, yes, sir.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion made?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful day.